Oh, I've been preparing myself to say this on camera. Okay, here we go. Is Parappa the Rapper a bad video game?
You gotta do what?
I gotta believe!
Maybe I shouldn't be starting off with such a just asking questions question. I'm gonna kill my channel before it even has a chance to breathe. But you
Gotta believe!
that I absolutely love this game. Let me explain. It all started on Christmas Day of 1997. I unwrapped possibly the most influential gift I've ever received, a Sony PlayStation. I couldn't believe that after a year of existing in the limbo between generations with a 32X, I was now in the first proper 3D console generation. I also received a memory card and something called Final Fantasy VII. Unboxing the box revealed the glorious gray PlayStation, first of its name, along with a curious CD labeled Interactive Demo Disc. I trepidatiously popped the disc into my new supercomputer and pressed the power button only to be treated with the sound of the future. "12 games to be sampled, the first of which, Parappa the Rapper." It was the first in the genre of what would come to be known as rhythm games. Before Rock Band, before Guitar Hero, before Frequency, before Amplitude, before Guitar Freaks, before Bimani, there was Parappa. It looked, sounded, and played like nothing else before it. The striking cartoon visuals were designed by East Village neo-surrealist Rodney Greenblatt. Fun fact, this wasn't the first video game Greenblatt's art was featured in. We'll keep that one in the vault for later. The game was developed by an almost unknown studio called Nana Onsha, whose only previous credit was... Hold on, let me check my note. Turnin' glue for the Apple Pippin. What the f***? Do we have a clip of this? Yeah? And music by Masaya Matsuda and Yoshihisa Suzuki. Matsuda was popular in Japan for his work with the band Psy S, and started the studio Nana Onsha as an alternative creative outlet for his passion. All of this came together to make a game that Sony, despite having a strict no 2D games policy for their flagship console, released the game anyways. Back to the demo disc. What better way to sell Parappa to the masses than to introduce the player to Chop Chop, Master Onion.
Kick, punch, it's all in the mind. If you wanna test me, I'm sure you'll find the things I'll teach ya. Sure to beat ya. Nevertheless, you'll get a lesson from teacher. Now keep...
Oh my god, this song. It's in my bones. I swear I know people to this day that only played the demo or never got past the first stage, but they know all the lines to this song. Kick, punch, it's all in the mind.
We're gonna move down to the next jockey. Now talk.
Now, were the rest of the songs on the same level as Master Onion's certified fresh banger? No, but they're all pretty catchy, and some have their die-hard defenders. So how did Parappa fare in reviews? I remember everyone being enamored with it, and rightly so. It was the first game in an entirely new genre that absolutely gushed charm. Besides IGN, finding contemporary reviews from 1997 proved to be a little difficult. So I had to go digging into my own personal stash. They called me crazy, but I knew saving these in plastic protectors would pay off someday. Issue 99 of Electronic Gaming Monthly, October 1997. Holy crap, 1997 was a year of bangers. Look at this. Reviews for Bushido Blade, GoldenEye 007, and Mother Father Final Fantasy VII. And how did our hero Parappa do? With an average score of 8.25, he took home an Editor's Choice Silver Award. Our man Dan was the most favorable with his review, saying, I guarantee you that by the end of the year, Parappa will be as common a household name as Mario or Sonic. He is the hippest, most lovable video game character I have ever seen. After playing this game, I wanted to see more of Parappa, whether it be in a sequel game or his own cartoon series. The music is incredible. Several of the tunes are so catchy you'll be singing them for days. I hope the soundtrack gets released separately. The storyline, if possible, it's better than the music. The tales of Parappa are hilarious in a somewhat alternative sense. This is the kind of game you're going to love immediately, and it's the type of game you're going to show off to every one of your friends, video gamers or not. Everyone will get a kick out of Parappa, so why not a perfect score? It could have easily earned it. But the two problems are, 1, the game is very short, you can beat it in a day, and 2, often pressing the buttons at the right time seems to depend more on luck than on skill. I was very frustrated, especially on cheaps levels, when I was penalized for no obvious reason. Still, the excellent music and storyline are enough for me to overlook the annoyances and give Parappa one of the highest recommendations of the year. Please check it out. I agree with almost everything Dan says here, especially about the button presses. But I do disagree with him on the story. Even at the time, as a kid, I thought the story was pretty childish. It's basically a C+ Looney Tunes cartoon. To be fair, the story is merely a vehicle for the timeless art and the undeniable beats. Let's look at the least favorable review from Sean. I have to admit that when I first saw Parappa, I thought it looked really lame. But then I played it and couldn't help but enjoy. Sure, it's childish and silly, but that's what's good about it. Don't play this one expecting anything but a wacky, hip-hop inspired, but not accurate title with really cool graphics. The problem is the length of the game. It's just too short. That's definitely a more grounded review. The game is very short for a video game, talking about 30 minutes to play through, but if you think about it, that's pretty damn long for a music video. EGM issue 100 kept the Parappa content going by featuring Parappa on their giant anniversary cover. Look at this. It's like Where's Waldo? Featuring him alongside timeless video game characters spanning all the way back to the medium's origins. That's quite a statement considering the game came out that same month in North America. Side note, Symphony of the Night is reviewed in this issue and is also number 12 on the top 100 games of all time. GoldenEye is number 25, Final Fantasy VII is number 21. Goddamn, 1997 was wild. On page 186, we hear from Dan again. Everyone here was hooked the first time we saw Parappa. We'd all crowd around the TV and fight to be the next person to rap. Chances are you'd be the most popular person on the block if you owned this game. Friends and family will be stopping by to play. I can go on forever about how cool Parappa is. In fact, I once suggested to a Sony representative that the lovable pup should replace Crash as Sony's spokesperson and mascot. She didn't appreciate that comment very much. Dan, again, is mostly right. My friends loved this game when I bought it. Hell, we played the demo a ton before I was able to buy it. Parappa's charm is absolutely inscrutable. It was a landmark game for Sony, and Mr. the Rapper certainly did become one of Sony's second-tier mascots. But after a few playthroughs, it became very apparent that this game had 0 legs. Sure, there's a level select and you can watch a replay of your most epic rap battles of history, and if you're able to bust mad rhymes into the cool rating, then you're treated to a new stage animation and dialogues from your mentors. But let's be honest, most people never saw those. I would wager that most people never got past the second level. And here's where we have to ask again. And God, I hate saying this. Is Parappa the Rapper a bad video game? The timing on button presses is extremely precise, at least on normal difficulty. On my first playthrough, it took a while to adjust to the game's timing. Do I press the button when Parappa's head passes over the icon? Or do I press it when the icon pulses? Turns out, it's neither. In order for your input to count, you actually have to delay the button press by what seems like a half beat, which is really hard to time. I argue that the gameplay portion of Parappa is basically broken. You had one job, Parappa. One job. Rappa. Now, I know what you're thinking. I can hear your snide, hurtful remarks through the screen.
Sounds like a skill issue, Blaze. Maybe you just suck.
Trust me, I entertained that possibility. I really did. And there are many, many things I suck at. Sports. Math. Video essays. But I do have rhythm. Not long after Parappa, I discovered Dance Dance Revolution and was pretty decent at it. I did eventually persevere and beat the game after a couple weeks of training myself to use the songs as a reference, but not as gospel. Now, I'm not the only person who feels this way. There's a ton of Reddit posts from people who feel the same way. They love the game, but feel like it's impossible or borderline broken. The only solution seems to be easy mode, but then the game ends abruptly after 3 levels, locking out the latter half of the game. For this video, I dug out my launch 60GB PlayStation 3. I figured I would be rusty, but not this rusty. Yeesh. My first try on Master Onion ended with rappin' bad. My second try, I almost completely failed, ending with me rapping awful. White people problems, am I right? Then it dawned on me that lag is a thing on modern consoles. Parappa was meant to be played on an analog CRT TV, where lag was non-existent. On newer rhythm games like Rock Band, there is a way to calibrate for both visual and auditory lag. But this game is from 1997. What the hell is an HD TV? So I figured, okay, let's eliminate the PS3 and the splitter and go right to the source. Emulation. I fired up DuckStation with my DualSense controller and...
That's it for today. Good job, Parappa. You can go on to the next stage now.
Yahoo! All right.
First try. All right. I'm back, baby. Just had to shake the cobwebs off. Okay, on to level 2.
Do I know why we stop talking?
You don't gotta do it again. What?
Perhaps now is a good time to dive into the scoring system, because it's terrible. Okay, so you've got a few words that represent how well you're timing your button presses. You'll want to maintain a good rating by the end of the song. See that score over there? Yeah, just ignore it. Seriously, though the score does represent something, it doesn't really have any bearing over whether or not you'll pass or you'll fail. You either rapping good or you rapping bad. That's it. You could be rapping awful for 90% of the round, but as long as you get back up to good on the last line of the song, you'll pass. Conversely, you could be rapping good for 90% of the song and then fumble on the last couple lines and bam, you failed. Thanks, Obama. This is what kept happening to me on Instructor Mussolini's rap. Yes, Instructor Mussolini. That is her actual name, because she's a moose. The 90s were wild. I'd be mostly maintaining a good rating throughout the song and then lose it on the last few admittedly challenging lines. Look at the timing on this.
Turn to the right,
Step on the cat, turn to the right.
check and turn the signal to the left.
Jack, turn, stick to the jack, stick to the left.
Step on the gas, now turn to the left.
It took me 4 tries before I decided to experiment with easy, which I had never done before. This difficulty loosened up the timing a bit, and I was able to pass the second stage. Finally, level 3, Prince Flea Swallow's rap. Genre, reggae. Rhythmically speaking, this is the hardest song yet. The beat is slower, but there are many more inputs, and those inputs are typically very close together. However, on easy, I was able to pass first try. This is where I noticed how forgiving easy mode is. I mean, look at this.
Got the funky flow.
Got the funk flow, got the.
All you ever need is to be nice and friendly.
All you ever need is to be nice and friendly.
All you ever need is to be nice and friendly.
All you ever need is to be nice and friendly.
Remember.
As I mentioned before, this is where easy mode ends. There isn't even a screen that tells you to try again on normal. You just get booted back to the Jet Baby intro. I thought the game was glitched. So here I am, stuck in this purgatory of technology and difficulty. Lag created by a combination of 90s technology and modern displays makes playing on normal far more difficult than it should be. I'd love to show you the rest of the songs, but I guess some things are never meant to be. Wait a minute.
Seafood cake comes just like the riddle.
Seafood cake comes just like the riddle.
I know when to admit defeat. Let's move on. I'm not going to let a level about in your pants get the better of me. No siree, Bob. Not this gal. No way.
Crack, break, fix the door, you know. I got to go, so yes, open up, you know.
It's all yours.
This really doesn't make any sense. I am delaying my inputs by almost a full beat here, and it feels like I'm completely failing, but it keeps working. Can we zoom in and slow down? Enhance.
Do you check the toilets on the left?
Yeah, that's what I thought. And this timing issue doesn't seem to be exclusive to the PS1 version. The PSP port has its share of complaints from the Parappa community. Even the recent PS4 remaster seemed to be plagued with some of the same issues. Listen, I don't want to ruin this game for people. Maybe I'm the problem, or maybe it's the lag, or maybe it is the game, or some combination of the three. Unfortunately, I don't have an original PlayStation laying around to hook up to my CRT and find out. Parappa holds such a special place in my heart, and so much nostalgia. I hope that comes through in this video, but this game is beginning to make me feel like I'm taking crazy pills. I think it's time to step back and put Parappa back on the shelf. I haven't played this game in probably 15 years, and I really did enjoy revisiting an old friend. Parappa is such an important part of the PlayStation library. There was nothing like it at the time. It was the very first rhythm game. The art design was entirely unique and full of life. The music was absolutely top tier for a video game, and so catchy that people who only spent an hour of time with it still remember the lyrics 27 years later. This game did so much right. Except the game part. So, is Parappa the Rapper a bad video game? Yes. Is Parappa the Rapper a special video game? Yes. If you've watched this far, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. This is my first produced video. I put a lot of work into it. It may not be the best from a writing perspective, but I can't wait to take what I've learned into the next video. And if you liked watching this, consider throwing me a few bucks over on Patreon. You'll get bloopers and B-roll and some other exclusive stuff. This video took 25 hours to complete, so, you know. I also want to thank the creators who have inspired me over the years to finally pull the trigger and follow this little dream of mine. I'll be back soon with a new episode. I hope to see you there. And music by Masaya Matsuura and Yoshihisa Suzuki.